up, sports fans? It's your man D back, Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. All right, check it out, man. I want to talk about Arslanbek Makhmudov and Joe Joyce. Hey, man, I tell you right now, this would be a fire fight. This would be a really good fight between these two guys. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because Arslanbek Makhmudov said that he would be willing to fight Joe Joyce. Now, when I look at this fight and I look at the two guys, and although Joyce is a bit more proven at the heavyweight division and on the pro circuit, Arslanbek Makhmudov is a dangerous guy. I mean, he does have improvements to make, don't get me wrong, but he's a big guy. He can punch hard. He's fast. I mean, he's got good hands, and he has a chin himself, such as Joe Joyce. Very interesting fight. I do put Joe Joyce ahead of Arslanbek Makhmudov. Again, Joe has experience, and he's fought the guys. He's fought the better guys. One thing about it, though, is that Arslanbek Makhmudov, like Joe Joyce, they're no spring chickens. These guys are up in age concerning athletics, especially combat sports and boxing. And they're pretty much on a similar path when it comes to fast tracking their career. They don't really have a lot of time to mess around, and fight these mid-level to low-level fights year after year, because they don't have time. Is not on their side. And this goes for Joe Joyce and Arslanbek. Now, although Arslanbek's a few years younger than Joe Joyce, these guys are still over 30 years old. This is usually the age where guys have put in a lot of work in boxing, and they've established themselves, and they're in the prime of their career. And Arslanbek and Joe Joyce are a bit behind that. The issue, though, with Arslanbek is, you're on the fast track, but I think that Joe Joyce provides more for you than you provide for him. See, Arslanbek fought Jonathan Rice, which is the best win on his resume, in my opinion, would be Jonathan Rice. And, it's just not much to say. Okay, you beat Jonathan Rice, but what else do you offer? And Arslanbek is on his way up the line, and he has to fight marquee fighters. But you just beating Jonathan Rice really doesn't do anything for you. I mean, Joe Joyce just ran through a Daniel Dubois, and pretty sure most people saw that fight. Daniel Dubois was actually favored, so you can look, and then you can say in that fight, well, Joe Joyce beat the odds because he wasn't the guy that was favored in this fight. He still pulled through and won it. Although Daniel Dubois was a prospect himself, Joe Joyce has also fought guys like Brian Jennings, which, this is why I believe Joe Joyce would win that fight, because he's already fought the guys that are higher quality opponents at a tougher level, and he's already ready and prepared for certain things, where Arslanbek Makhmudov is almost in the shoes of Daniel Dubois. He's less prepared for the bigger fights, where I believe Joe Joyce is. He has actually underrated footwork, does Joe Joyce, and he had an underrated jab, which he proved in this fight with Daniel Dubois. You don't mangle a guy's eye like that unless you're packing something behind that jab. But, Joe Joyce went 12 rounds with Jennings, which some people may say, oh, well, he didn't stop him. But that could be a good thing, because this is like Teofimo went 12 rounds with Nakatani. Oh, he didn't stop him, but he excelled after that. And I've seen Joe Joyce look better and better in his fights. Arslanbek Makhmudov has not had the opportunity to see that type of opponent. And again, he offers a lot to Joe Joyce. He does, but does he offer enough to beat this man? And I'm not too comfortable or sure if Arslanbek can pull that off. And then when we look at the situation where, as I was saying before, what does Arslanbek have to offer Joe Joyce? See, both of these guys have to be fast-tracked and moved up, but this is more beneficial to Arslanbek than it is to Joe Joyce. You know, I'm not sure what Joe Joyce's team have in front of them, but I will say this. Joe Joyce has plenty of options of names that would validate him more, much more than Arslanbek. And he's already in line where he has a name himself. So the interest level in fights with these other guys may be intriguing to them versus Arslanbek, you know. And we can start with Filip Hrgović. Joe Joyce and Filip Hrgović met in their younger careers and the amateurs, so they have history there, you know. They have history there. So Joe Joyce and Filip Hrgović getting back in that ring, well, both of them need a worthy named opponent, which served them a great purpose to get in the ring with each other. Also, Michael Hunter said that he's willing to fight Joe Joyce. Okay, and Michael Hunter is also a name that gives Joe Joyce more validity in his path, you know, to get to a title shot eventually. Arslanbek just doesn't do that. And third and final opponent, potential opponent that definitely gives Joe Joyce a better name on his record, much better than Arslanbek, is Joseph Parker. And after his Junior 5 matchup, Parker's going to be looking for something. If you guys remember, Joseph Parker was not active in 2020. That was a lost year for Joseph Parker. So these are three potential opponents for Joe Joyce. And he's already done enough to continue to move forward. And he's intriguing. He makes sense for those guys as well. Arslanbek, not so much. And how I believe that this will be a fire fight, a very good fight. I think that 50-50 almost, even though Arslanbek's not proven. I've seen this guy, you know, maybe 60-40 Joe Joyce. I would have to favor Joyce, but very good fight that we may not get. But Arslanbek is definitely willing to fight Joe Joyce. I'm just not sure that Joe Joyce's team is, you know, going in that direction. Would be a great fight, guys. Just thought that I'd speak on that just a little bit. You know, like I said, we're going to be dropping videos over here until they take the reins off us and give us our live streams back. But y'all know Speak Your Mind Sports Talk going to keep pressing forward. Appreciate all you guys always supporting Speak Your Mind Sports Talk family. Joe Joyce, Arslanbek would be great. That would be a great fight to get. Very seriously doubt we get it because Joe Joyce, as they say, have bigger fish to fry. But just thought I'd speak on it because Arslanbek said that he would be willing to take Joe Joyce, and I'm pretty sure he would. But thanks again, guys. And y'all know how I always end this thing. For the love of sports, let's talk about it. Peace.
Block, we can shop. Pull up to the block and you can shop. What you want? Watch out, cause the cops hot. We shoot a shot if you see the eye. You can't ball if you ain't got no hustle. Bitch, I keep my grind on, fuck the struggle.